Charles Kaiser. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Charles Kaiser. Photograph, Joe Stouter. Charles Kaiser, formerly a reporter for the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, is the author of 1968 in America, The Gay Metropolis, and most recently The Cost of Courage. Mark Lilla is a professor of humanities at Columbia University. Like so many other straight white male academics of a certain age, he is preoccupied with the excesses of political correctness on American campuses today. Unfortunately, he also resembles his colleagues in his inability to peer over ivy-covered walls to give us an accurate vision of the world beyond his classroom. What he offers instead is a reaction to what he has experienced with his students, rather than a description of the real effects of identity politics, which are his obsession. Lilla gave the pithiest summary of his concerns last November in the New York Times. American liberalism has slipped into a kind of moral panic about racial, gender, and sexual identity that has distorted liberalism's message and prevented it from becoming a unifying force capable of governing. In his book, he does acknowledge the benefits of the civil rights movement, which offered a constructive way of serving both the African American community and the country as a whole by working to force America to live up to its principles. He is also correct that the left needs to focus a lot more attention on winning elections, especially at state and local levels, and he properly criticizes progressives for their eagerness to condemn their own, particularly in attacking Barack Obama. Campus experiences lead him to say things which are half-true, untrue, false, or completely meaningless, but then the tunnel vision of his campus experiences kicks in, leading him to say things which are half-true, untrue, false, or just completely meaningless. Not only does he think identity politics has prevented liberals from governing, he also believes this has made it impossible for them to accomplish anything important. Liberal activists used to work with parties and through institutions to achieve their ends, he writes, but in the 70s and 80s, movement politics began to be seen by many liberals as an alternative rather than a supplement to institutional politics. He also thinks liberals are incapable of achieving concrete political ends because they are not willing to engage in the slow, patient work of campaigning for office, drawing up legislation, and making trades to get it passed. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Mark Lilla's view, Reaganism shares more than a kernel in common with the anti-politics and self-reverence of identity liberalism, according to Lloyd Green. Photograph, PR. This is false. Applied to the gay rights movement of the last 50 years, it is also completely ahistorical.